Okay, I can explain why I have so many Hemlock and Oaks. Hey there, Nicole here. How is planner season treating you? Have we figured out our lineup? Are we still deciding? Is anyone choosing a Hemlock and Oak? If you are, you're in good hands. As you can see, I have a ton of Hemlock and Oak products in front of me here today. I am a huge fan, if you haven't noticed, of this Canadian-based company. They make just gorgeous notebooks and planners, as you can see with the covers. The paper is like thick and luxurious as well. They have some really exciting things coming out in 2026. And so with all of that going on, I wanted to, especially for anyone who's kind of new to the line, run through a little bit of an overview, just because, you know, if you're anything like me, seeing something online is a lot different than, like, you know, obviously getting it in person. But since most things are like on pre-order right now, it's nice to at least like see the videos and have someone like flip through pages and kind of explain things. So that's like what I'm hoping for out of today. So for any H&O newbies out there, this video is for you. I obviously don't have every iteration of the Hemlock and Oak books, but I'm gonna try my best to explain all of the different types of planners that they have and the cover type. So you can see we have a few different ones here. So without further ado, let's get started. And as a super brief background, I am currently using a Hemlock and Oak Daily Duo for my memory keeping as well as functional planning. So these two black ones here are the Daily Duo that I use for my memory keeping. So I like hardcover for that because I like to stick it on my bookcase afterwards. So this is like the current year, 2025. And then for last year, this is the ones that have been sitting on my bookshelf. This is the Undated dailies. So I'll kind of walk through all of that, but essentially this is year 2 of memory keeping in this guy. And then for functional planning, I have the two flex covers that I'm using today. So I just wanted to explain that so you know like what I'm using. All of the other ones like I have used, or I tried it out and didn't like it, or I have some of these that are for like future lineup as well. And then the last reason I guess that I have all of these different books is that my husband and I run it's really just us. It's not really like a business, like a big thing, but we make leather covers on the side. We actually started with the Hemlock and Oak brand just because he had been making my leather covers, and then it just kind of grew from there, and we absolutely love it and we love working together on this. And so that's honestly the other reason why I have so many books, is because people will request different sizes, and like it only started out with like the planners that I owned. And so like I guess the other thing that I'll preface this video with is that, you know, although I am an affiliate with Hemlock and Oak, all of this, like everything that I bought here was with my own money. I don't have any like sponsored posts or like anything like that. So this is purely like out of my paycheck to help support the leather business and obviously my planning system as well. So this is like the cover, for example, that I'm using today for my Daily Duo. And then this is just some of the ones that he's made in the past. This was undyed leather, and look how dark it got, which is so cool. But anyway, that's just some I have on hand. All the other ones were obviously sent to customers already, so I don't have that to show you. But essentially we make mostly covers for Hemlock and Oak, but we're kind of slowly expanding that. But yeah, that's honestly like why I have so many, because people will be like, I want hardcover planner cover, and then the flex cover started coming out and people started requesting that, and then the B5 Minimalist came out, which is like the much bigger book, and so I had to buy that too. And so it's a lot, but you know, I want to put that to good use, right? I don't want it just sitting around. So they have been really good templates to create the covers, but then I also now today want to make even better use of it and show you guys, because you know, it's confusing sometimes because you know, you have your A5 and B6s and people are like, well, what does the Hemlock and Oak fit, you know, and then what's the difference between the regular weekly and the A5 Minimalist? Like, all these little things can be pretty confusing, especially when you're new to the planner. So yeah, that's kind of the reason why I'm making this video. So I will stop blabbing now. I just wanted to give you a little bit of like context for like why I have all these books and what I'm using, right? Because I'm not just like on the internet like going over a bunch of planners I don't use. Like, I actually use a lot of these. So I have experience with like the paper and different sizes because we have to measure everything. So yeah, I hope this is going to be helpful for you. Okay, so I think I'm gonna start with the biggest book first. So let me turn on its side, you can see what I mean. This is the big Hemlock and Oak daily. So this covers daily pages for the full year. I want to make a note that this cover is old. They no longer make this kind of like, actually don't know what material this is, but you can see it's like not cloth like these guys are. So I just don't want you to look at this and go online and try to find it. I bought this like on clearance because this was like the last one left of this SKU. So I got it just to test it out, and then I realized that this book was just way too big for me. You can see that, you know, you have the ability to put the back pockets in there, but really this runs through all of the pages for every day of the year. And then you can see at the beginning of every book, they have a table of contents. So because the daily is so big, you will not see any goal pages in there. So it will have some like high-level overview and holidays, and then you have the month followed by the days, and so it is sequential like that. And then all of the daily pages will look the same in any book. So meaning you have this type of layout where you have your focus and intentions on the top header, and then you have your schedule, and then you can see a little check boxes here that will help you kind of do your checklist items for the day. But it is otherwise pretty unstructured. But this is good for those who, I would say, to be honest, don't have to take this everywhere. I know a lot of people do that anyway, but it's honestly just a personal preference. There's not a ton of like clear covers, if any, that are available for this chunky boy here. No surprise there. So, you know, you're gonna have to either like find some sort of protectant, or if you like just secure it in your bag, it should be fine. But it is like pretty chunky. So that's things to consider, but I know that this size is very, very beloved. And, you know, when we make our covers, I would say that the daily is by far the most popular request. So it is unique to Hemlock and Oak, and it's pretty cool. But for those who need portability, it's probably not this size. The last thing that I will also mention is that because there are so many pages in the daily already, you'll see that there are also no notes pages. So for as big as this book is, there are no notes pages for you. For the others, there are a few, but a consideration that this is pretty minimalist in terms of functionality, but it's still cool. So if you love like a chunky book, if you love everything in one book, this might be for you. something new that came out in 2025 is the Daily Duo. So essentially what they've done is take this guy here and cut the layout right in half. So I will speak to why I mean exactly in half. So these, actually this is my memory keeper, so I'll go to my planner. So these are the Daily Duos. They come in the traditional hardcover in various colors. All the colors are beautiful, by the way, but they come in a ton of different colors for the hardcover. Hardcover, flex cover like you're seeing here, and then they will also have, coming out in 2026, this is an undated, but just so you can see the cover type, the cloth flex. So that is the third type that is new to the lineup, and so far people have been really loving it, and I do too. There are a ton of different types of cloths like you're seeing here. Some of them are more durable than the other. What I will do, I won't talk specifics in here, because what I will do after all of this is transition to my computer and then show you guys like which ones and how to navigate the website and everything. So don't worry about that. I just wanted to make the call out that there are 3 different types of covers: hardcover, flex cover, and cloth flex. Before I got this, I was wondering if the sizing was going to be different. So obviously the hardcover is, because of the hardcover, it's like slightly bigger than the actual page. But the cloth flex and the regular flex cover are the same size. Let me see. So you see there, it has a little bit more of a lip for obvious reasons, but the cloth flex and paper flex are exactly the same. It's not any thicker. So for the daily, let me see. I stamped the inside here. You will have, actually in the first book of the Daily Duo, you have the cover pages, and it tells you what's in here. So you have your overview, but in the daily there are no goal pages. All right, so you got the quarterly breakdowns there, holidays, 1 blank page, and then you go straight into your monthly, followed by the dailies. So it goes in that pattern where, let me see, month, and then all of the days, and then it will end with mid-year notes and 1 blank page, and I use this to do a pen test. So again, no notes. The dailies are pretty minimal, and then you have your back page, and that's it. This is January through June. And then the one thing that people might not know, it's not really called out on the website, but I personally think it's important, is that you have all these pages, right? But you can see that even though this book is January through June, the quarters go all the way through the end of the year, because I mentioned that this book was cut exactly in half. So once you get to the end of July, you get to this book, and you go straight, or sorry, in June. It ends in June, and then this goes straight into July. You can see that there were no quarter 3, quarter 4 pages there. So I really wish they did that, but I understand that this is a new SKU for them, and that's something that they do want to provide in the future. And I know that I asked and some other people asked, and Tia, the owner, mentioned that she may have like inserts or stickers that she would provide to tape in or stick in for those overview pages, but it makes it to where, you know, you might have to either print out and plug these pages into the second book. To me, it defeats the purpose because I specifically want to use their paper. And I have heard that some people might cut it out, but I'm not crafty. I'm probably gonna mess that up, so I just like didn't use it. But I want to call that out because it's not obvious in the description, but that's what the Daily Duo means. It's exactly what the big daily is, cut in half. And let's see, how many notes pages do we have at the end? You have, like, again, the review and overview pages, but no goal pages. And then let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 notes pages in the back. So not bad, but you'll notice, if you did notice, in the first book we didn't get that. We only had essentially 1 blank page, so a tiny bit of a difference. So that is the Daily Duo. Same case for the hardcover, so I won't go through all of that because the layout is exactly the same. Lastly, we have the Undated Daily. So these are old colors. This is what I use for my old memory keeper. So I have, for the Undated, they are 6 months per book. The contents of the pages differ slightly with the daily, in that first off, it's obviously no date, so you would have to date it yourself. Because it's undated, the months and days are not sequential. So in the dated Daily Duo, you will have sequential month, days, month, days. In the undated, you'll have all of the months up front and then all of the days, right? So that's a key difference there. Let's see, where did it go? I got the new Undated Daily Cloth Flex to just see how this paper is, and I love it. This is like the cloth that is scuff resistant, which I absolutely love, and you can see it is a little bit shinier than the regular cloth. It's because of that coating. But I personally like it. If you don't mind the scuff, or if you keep it in a cover for the whole time, then that's probably not an issue for you, and that's okay because they are so pretty, and I wouldn't want to cover them up either. So when I put it in my planner covers, I always leave the front cover like untucked so I can still see the beautiful cover here. But I digress. This is the new Undated Daily, so I only say that to show you the bulk. So in my memory keeper, I use a ton of stickers and ephemera, and people have questions on whether the binding holds up, and it does. I mean, you can see that it bends a little bit, but the binding holds up really well. I didn't have any issues, nothing came loose, but you can see how big it got. So just a consideration there, that you'll get a pretty good amount of fluff if you use a ton of stickers and ephemera, but that shouldn't impact the book at all. So let me just like do a really quick flip so you can see like how much I use. A lot of stamping, a lot of really thick photos, and there is no bleed through. And I'm like really heavy handed as well. So I use all sorts of different stamping inks, ephemera in here, really thick photo paper, so no issues there. And then same thing with this one. So if anyone loves using stickers and everything, I honestly just wouldn't be worried at all. Okay. And then The difference with the Undated and the Daily Duo also are some of the contents inside. So you actually have in the Undated Daily the goal setting stuff. So you can see here in the table of contents, it tells you that it has all of these different things that weren't in the Daily Duo. Like you have the reflections and values, setting goals, setting habits, and all of that. So I didn't do that, so you'll see that. Let's see. So you can see all the monthly reviews, and then all of the goal setting pages here. So I know a lot of people absolutely love Hemlock and Oak's goal setting pages, so if that's for you, definitely make sure you select a planner that has these beginning pages. So in each of the listing, it will tell you which one has it, because it will all have a photo of the table of contents. So just kind of read it and then see which one has these top sections here. So obviously we talked about the daily not having it, but at least the dated one, but the Undated does have it. Let me just confirm actually in the Cloth Flex. Yes, so the new Cloth Flex Undated that came out this year has all these pages as well. And then you also have the option to add folders in the back if you want to. I didn't mention this, but for the charms, those are for hardcover only, okay? No flex cover has the ribbon, so you can't add the charm. So if you don't see that option, that's why. It's only for the hardcover. But the pockets, I believe you can add to both, since I got it right here. So they have the transparent pocket as well as this like thick paper. So I like the thick paper because I want to keep like ephemera and stuff in here, and it's secure. And I felt like the transparent was like a little thin, but it really depends. If you're just putting like some quick sticker sheets, shouldn't be a problem. But for like memory keeping, if I have a big folder, I like to like stick all of my stuff in here. So pretty useful. So that is the difference with the Undated dailies versus the dated. Now we go into, I believe is the most popular SKU, which is the weekly. So OG weekly is the typical vertical layouts, but I also have the horizontal that came out last year. I'm putting this together because aside from this one, which is the minimalist, we'll get to this guy. The weekly vertical and horizontal have the same amount of pages, and I only know this because we make covers for these and they end up being the same dimensions and the same thickness, so that was nice. But obviously it's just the inside that's different. One has like the horizontal weekly layout and one has the vertical weekly layout. So I have I wouldn't say all the different versions here for the A5 minimalist, the regular weeklies. Oh, and the one thing that I'm forgetting is the B5. So this is the B5 minimalist and the A5 minimalist. Look at the size difference. So this is like your standard A5. Because it's a hardcover, it's gonna obviously not fit some of like the Hobonichi covers, for example, but the pages are the same dimensions as a standard A5. So if you end up getting a cloth flex or a flex cover, you should be fine. I don't have that iteration here to confirm, but that's what I believe. So this is the A5 minimalist, and then versus this is the weekly not a minimalist. So let me see if I can line this up so you can see the difference there. So You can see the minimalist A5 versus the standard Hemlock and Oak size is a little bit bigger. And then the B5 is significantly taller and a little bit wider. See that? And then the pages are similar. So this is where it gets a little confusing too, especially if you're looking for covers for it, because this is the A5 Minimalist 2025. For 2026, they added more notes pages. So I think it went back up to, not back up, it went up to 224 pages, which is the same as the weeklies. So the weeklies have 224, and so the 2026 A5 Minimalist will have 224. I think the old one, or the current year, 2025, only has like a little over 200 pages. So it's slightly skinnier. So I think it's nice that they added extra notes pages. So that's pretty cool, but I just wanted to call out the difference there. And then obviously you're seeing the size difference here between the minimalist, the flex cover weekly, and the hardcover weekly. Okay, so what is the difference between the regular weekly and then the minimalist weekly outside of the size difference? So minimalist, in its name, that's like what it is. I think that's similar to the daily, where if I open this up, again, no notes pages, no goal pages. It just has like the standard overview and calendars. And then it goes straight into months and weeks. So that's all it is. The whole book repeats in that fashion. And then it ends with, I think, the end of year review. Yes. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 notes pages, 17 notes pages. So pretty good. So the minimalist is nice because it has just core functionality for a planner, and it's a little bit smaller, more compact. And if you're getting the soft cover, it should fit most covers as well. And so the weekly, again, is slightly larger, but this one does have all of your goal setting pages. So that's the difference there and why it has a few more pages. So the layout is the same, but it has all of these goal pages. The last detail that I'll actually cover is that I said the layout was the same, but I take that back. So the weekly part is the same, but you can see here in the regular weekly that you have focus, intentions, and to do, similar to like some of the headers in the daily. The minimalist is cleaner. Not that this is not clean, but you'll see what I mean. It has the weeks, but you have a free column here to do what you will with it. So if people like more structure and they want the goal setting pages, then the weekly is for them. But if they want to do what they want with this column and they only need the schedule, then the minimalist is for them, especially like if they already have like a notebook or an additional planner that supports this, then this might be all that they need. So those are the key differences between the minimalist versus the regular weekly. The same applies for the B5. So you can see, I'm going to open up the schedule. The only difference is obviously the size there. So this is huge. And this is a B5 minimalist. So again, the B5 will not come with goal setting pages. It just has the overview pages. Okay, And then I'm gonna get to a schedule to show you. So even though they're different sizes, the timeline is still 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. And then after that, it's all blank grid for you for both of the minimalist. The regular weekly, if you can see over here, it has a tiny little heart for fitness or self-care that these minimalist ones do not have. So tiny call out there. But otherwise the layouts are pretty much the same. All right. And then the last difference with the weekly is that we have the undated weekly. So similar to the undated daily, the undated weekly will have goal setting pages. So you see the pattern there. And then we have all of the months at the beginning. And then we get into the undated weekly schedule. So also 6 to 10. And then the undated weekly also has the focus, intentions, and to-do columns or sections on the very left column. Everything else is the same. And then we have our horizontal. So this has been increasingly popular among Hemlock and Oak users. They recently came out, and I don't have this one, but they have a minimalist horizontal as well, meaning it's going to be this layout but this size. So you can see again, it is a little bit smaller, and you'll also know it's a minimalist because it just says the year versus all the other regular planners. You can see it has the Hemlock and Oak and it tells you like what SKU it is, but the minimalist just has the year printed. I think it's still the same, but I could be wrong. So for the horizontal, we got goal setting pages and overviews. Right, so I won't flip through all of that again, but the main difference here is that you'll have, after all of those overview pages, you get to your month, and then you get into your horizontal page, horizontal weekly. So it is very clean and minimal, lots of room to do your own layouts, right? Because you have the weekly here. A lot of folks I see like draw different boxes to compartmentalize things or section things off, but then I see really cool layouts with the blank page here. So there's a lot of freedom with the horizontal weekly. So that's why they added the minimalist version as well. I think it's pretty popular. So I love it. So that is the horizontal. Last but not least, I just wanted to show you some B5s. So these are actually the only notebooks that I own from Hemlock and Oak that are not planners. So we already went through the B5 minimalist, so I just wanted to show it next to the notebooks. So obviously they're the same size and about the same thickness as well. As I mentioned, was using the Daily Duo for memory keeping, but I've been really bad about keeping up with it. This year, I was way better last year, so for 2026, I'm actually converting over to a B5 graph notebook for memory keeping, because then I have no pressure to journal every day, and that's okay. And so because I might want to do like a few days to a page, I decided to do a bigger book, which is the B5. So this is what the graph notebook looks like. It's the same very thick paper. Again, we'll get into specifics of it on the website review, but I love it. So I'm gonna use this for next year for journaling. They have also, in addition to B5, if you look at their notebooks, they also have the versions in A5 and TN, or standard. So lots of options there, lots of different gold foiling options as well. So definitely check that out. And then it will also have some like, feels like second, what is it when it's like B grade? So it's not at a discount, or imperfect. That's what they call on the website, is imperfect. So these two are actually imperfect notebooks, but I don't see anything wrong with it, which is so awesome, right? Like, I get a discount for it looking, to me, brand new, but you know, that's why the quality is so good, because they have high standards of what they consider as first quality. I do see a little bit of scuffing here, so maybe that's what it is. But honestly, I don't really see anything wrong with it. I know that the ends here were a little bent in both of them, but my husband just like undid it, and now it looks almost good as new. So yeah, that is the B5. Oh, and then I just wanted to show you the gold foiling here as well. Really, really pretty. And again, they also came out with like a ton of different or new charms. So if you are a charm person, definitely get you one. So again, I just wanted to show the B5. So maybe what I'm gonna do is show it side by side, so you see a quick size comparison. So this is the biggest one next to your standard Hemlock and Oak size, next to the minimalist, which is A5. There you go. And for even more of a comparison, this is a Wonderland 222. Let me see. You can see it's the same, it is the same size as an A5. Okay. And then obviously B6 is even smaller. All right, so I hope that was helpful. So that is a little bit of an explanation of all the different Hemlock and Oaks, or almost all of them, since I don't have every version, but that's why the next step is we will transition over to the website, and I'll share my screen and show you the website overview and where to find each of these planners, and then just kind of show you a little bit of a tour. So be right back.
Hello, it's me again. So here we will go through a website tour of Hemlock and Oak. So you can see here, hemlockandoak.com is the website. We'll go through a few different things. I think first, you know, in terms of navigation, you can go to Shop All, and then you can see there are different lines, whether it be planners, jewelry is relatively new, notebooks and journals, and some of their accessories. I will make a note that for the downloads, they have, you know, all of these that you can try out the layouts for. So there's that. But I'll just start at the beginning. I clicked on the sale tab here because if you are looking to try before you buy, in addition to the digital, what is a good idea and what I've done is shop their sales and imperfect. So you can see here stuff from this year that are on sale, some of the undated stuff with the old covers. And then you'll have to click on it because there's only, you can see here, certain colors that are available on sale, and they'll tell you like why it was marked down if it was imperfect. So that's these guys down here, whether it be the foiling went wrong or some scuffing. So the website has pretty good description. So for example, if we go into the A5 imperfect, you can see the slight the price is slashed down pretty significantly there. It'll also tell you when something is low on stock. And then here, it just tells you that this one elderberry purple cover is available for the imperfect. So a good way to shop if you are new to the brand or new to a certain layout and want to try it out. So the same goes for the notebooks as well. As I mentioned earlier, since I purchased some of the B5 imperfect notebooks. So they have different sizes, as you can see here. For the notebooks at least, there are like the standard ones as well. Standard A5 and B5 are the three options, and then they do graph, uh, blank, as well as the dotted notebooks. So all three are available. So that's the sales section there. For the planners, there is, again, the sale line, which is current year. They have inserts. I don't have experience with inserts, so just for the sake of that, I won't go into it. But if you are interested in inserts, they are all here. And then the Undated line is something they released. I mean, it's been out, but earlier this spring, they did a new Undated launch. And then obviously 2026 is on pre-order. So the Undated actually started shipping like a month or two ago. And so they have it for all the different versions, right? We talked through like the weekly, the daily, the horizontal. The one that is new that I have also pre-ordered that should be shipping at the end of this month, the end of September 2025, is this Undated weekly and daily planner. So there is an undated version, but I think there's so much hype for, and people are really excited and asking for, if the dated version was going to come out. And so they ended up making the dated version as well. So what's unique about this is it is kind of their first hybrid planner, as well as they developed a brand new paper. So typically, if I go to one of the old listings, not the old listings, but their OG planner here, in the description, it'll tell you what the paper type is. So this is called their Heritage paper, which is 120 GSM. So that's like that bright white, very thick paper that we've been going through in the earlier demonstration. Their new paper is called their Archivist. So that's 70 GSM. So I don't think anyone has this in hand yet, but everyone's like highly anticipating this. It's supposed to be, for the Hobonichi lovers or the Tomoe River paper lovers, where it is super fountain pen friendly. Their OG paper is also fountain pen friendly because they mention here Tomoe's Mount Liners, gel pens, and fine fountain pens. So it's pretty resistant to like all of them. I'm not a fountain pen user, but I've heard that people haven't had any issues. But I use gel pens, mount liners, stamps, and the paper takes really, really well. And so I'll be curious to see, because I did pre-order this, what the paper is like, how much ghosting there is, if there's any bleed through. So I'm really, really excited to have that in hand. I got I think I got a hardcover and a paper flex in this because I wasn't sure which one I wanted. But you can see for the colors, it differs with the paper flex, which it comes in these four. The cloth flex, which comes in additional colors, and the cloth flex colors are actually all of the more durable cloth that is in the selection for the hardcover. And this photo is a perfect breakdown for it. Not all of the listings has this photo, but I think it's super useful. So it's called coated versus the uncoated. So the uncoated is just like the regular cloth. It's still very durable, but the coated has like this extra layer, and that's why when I was doing my overview earlier, I mentioned that there was like a little shine to it. That's what the coating is. So I prefer that because I'm not delicate with my stuff. But some people just, if you want a certain color, then I'd say go for it, but just be aware that there is a coating for only some of them. And they will tell you in the description, like when you thumb through, for example, this pink Snapdragon doesn't have it. It just tells you like what the material is. But for example, the moss, which is one that I have for the cloth flex. So I got this one. It'll tell you it has this coating for added durability. So as you thumb through, it'll tell you exactly what it is. Sweet. So that is a little bit about I think we went through the Undated. I talked about the cover types, and then we went through their new line here. Uh-oh, and you can see they're starting to run out of colors. So, snag the one you want before they go away. And you can see here that, if you're wondering when certain ones are coming out, you can see the pre-order date, expected to ship mid-October. So that is for all of the dated lines for 2026. I believe that the Undated at the time of this video is all shipping now, like it's available. In stock, ships 1 to 3 business days. I would say the shipping is pretty quick too, so no complaints there. The only difference is for the Undated line, they're all ready to ship except for this new one. So again, that one is anticipated for end of September. And they'll typically send emails to update you guys as well. And then if you want to do a comparison of each of the planners, when you scroll down, let me see if this listing has it. Not only does it have a digital flip through for each of the layouts, so you see that here, you can also download the PDF, but this is where you can compare. So because I'm on an undated listing, when I scroll down, I can see the comparison for all the undated planners. And same concept for the dated. So say I go to the Daily Duo. This color is so pretty. I think I got one of these in the notebook. It's true to color. It's beautiful. Here you go. And then this is the comparison for all the hardcover. Let's see, I think it should be the case. Say we flip this to the flex cover. Boom. So comparison of the flex covers as well. So the only thing that's missing from this chart is, although it gives you the dimensions of the notebook here, it doesn't show you the spine depth, right? The thickness of each of the notebooks. I think they mentioned that they will add it at some point, but that's just to think about, like in our world when we're making covers, the spine depth is really important so we know how big to make the leather covers. So just a call out there, but otherwise it tells you everything you need to know. For the notebooks and journals, I like the way they broke this down because then you can shop, for example, I'm only a graph user, but if you like dotted notebooks versus lined or blank, if you're an artist, then you can shop by those layouts. You can also see here that they have, if you're looking for their OG paper, or do you want a notebook with thinner pages, then that's their new Archivist 70 GSM. And then if you want hardcover versus flex cover. And then in terms of designs, they have their basic line, which is just blank notebook. So originally it was all hardcover. And then this past year they expanded to, I guess starting last year, they expanded to the flex covers that you're seeing here. And even more recently, the cloth flex. And the only difference here is the cloth flex you can see has the rounded edges versus the sharper edges or the squared edges that you see with these two. And then they have two additional collections, the Celestial, which is like the stars, the sun, the moon type of thing. Very pretty. And then lastly, I think this one's my favorite, is the Woodlands collection, obviously, because that's what I got my notebooks in. And again, they will have 3 sizes, so you can kind of click around because some SKUs are only offered in certain paperweights or certain paper types, right? So you want to click around and make sure you get what you want. But they have TN, A5, and B5, and those are the universal sizes. So awesome. So I hope that was helpful for you. That is a tour of the Hemlock and Oak website. I think you can, when you log in to make a purchase, it goes through the shop account. So it'll have your details in there that you would enter. Make sure that you look at the shipping, because I think it's free shipping over a certain amount there. And then lastly, if you did find this helpful, it would mean the world if you could use my affiliate code, which is Nicole10. That will give you 10% off of your planner purchase. So anyway, I'll end it with that. Let me know which planner you end up getting. If you have any questions, if I didn't answer something, because I'm more than sure I forgot stuff, let me know in the comments. Give me any feedback. I'm open to everything. And honestly, just thank you for being here. I hope you have a good day. Happy planning. Bye.